Why, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hamlet Without Hamlet. I am Tim, your co-host, once again, joined, as always, by the lovely, indelible, imitable Ian.
Well, hello, folks. I'm Ian. Welcome back. Running the keys today, we have David.
Yes, indeed. Hello, hello.
Today, we're trying something new, something fun that we thought could be worth diving into. As some of you may know, or many of you, or none of you, the MPAA does our movie ratings, and they have not always had the same ratings.
Tell me more.
Prior to 1968, they didn't have an R rating. They only had like G, unrated, and rated, or pass. And then they rolled out the R for the more adult content that was coming out. And then they had PG. And then in 1984, they decided we should probably put something in between PG and R to catch those things that are not quite R-ish, but way above or a little above PG. Hence, PG-13. The first movie that got that rating was Rescue Dawn, I think.
I'll take your word for it.
No, not Rescue Dawn. It's the one that takes place in Michigan,
Is it
where
Red Dawn?
the Russians are invading.
Red Dawn? Is that the...
That might be right.
That sounds right.
Red Dawn? Yes. That sounds right. Anyway, 1984. So, between 1968 and 1984, you only had movies that were G, PG, or R. So we thought it could be fun to take a look at some PG movies from that time frame, chat about them, and say if they were reevaluated today by the MPAA, would they still be PG or would they be PG-13? So,
Yes.
that's what we got.
Sounds good.
Well, David, what's our first one up for today?
Well, I'm working off the list you gave me, and the first movie we have is Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Tim, have you seen that?
Yes, I have. Funny you should ask.
Oh.
Quite a few times. My love for Indiana Jones is well known and boundless. I've enjoyed all of them immensely. Out of the original three, this is easily my least favorite. And I think part of it is some of the ishy, creepy, icky parts of it that I just didn't jive with as well. That kind of funnels into this conversation.
It does. There is no doubt.
There is no doubt. I mean, thematically, I would say almost with a bullet, this would be a PG-13 for me today. Between the, pulling somebody's heart out through their chest and eating monkey brains and all of the incredible jump scares and needless screaming, I'd say, from Kate Capshaw. But I'm sure Steven just told her to do it. But yeah, I feel like there is enough in this movie that if reevaluated, it would probably easily jump up. Not for any language, I would say.
No, I think the language
that's one of the marquee things that they would say. If you have your messages, David,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I sent you a little snippet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
About kind of the MPAA's
Yep.
details. What do they got?
Well, I have it written down a different way. So when we break it out into sections, they're looking at violence, language, substances, which is drugs, nudity, and sex. Those are the categories that are used. So I guess if I read the messages from you that are very small. If nudity is sexually oriented, the film will generally not be found in the PG-13 category. If violence is too rough or persistent, the film goes into the R restricted rating. A film's single use of one of the harsher sexually derived words, though only as an expletive, shall initially require the ratings board to issue that film at least a PG-13, which is the infamous one F word limit.
This is correct. But they have also bucked their own trends a couple times.
Yes.
Most recently, I would say with Hamilton, the Broadway recording has 3 F words across the 2.5 hours. And they bleeped two of them and kept one that's kind of a little bit muted on its own in the show. I'm a little surprised that's the one they kept, because that's the one I would say has the least punch to it. Maybe that's why.
That's probably why.
But it's still a PG-13 despite having 3 F words in it. So, and then there's a movie like Reds from 1981 that has like 6 F words, I think, and it's still a PG. So, I mean, they even gave on their website that they have the ability and the precedent to sit down and say, I know it has 3, but what else is there? And kind of assess from there. But when looking at it as a whole for this film, I personally would not show this to my kids until they're at least 14 or 15. But maybe that's just me. I mean, there's Princess and the Frog. Have you seen this? You?
I don't know if I've seen that.
The story is fun,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the songs a lot. The animation is gorgeous. I love that it's a more modern hand-drawn movie. But the villain, Dr. Vasily,
Yeah.
he's like, his like villain song is "Friends on the Other Side," and it's literally him doing a duet with like demons and spirits and horrible looking things, and it's G.
Mm-hmm.
It's G, according to the MPAA, and I still will not let any of my kids watch it, and probably won't until they're adults and can make that their own choice. It's just,
Yeah, that I would absolutely agree that that's one that deserves more than a G rating for sure.
mm-hmm.
Can they actually tag it PG-13?
No.
I
But
could
it
see
should-
that because it doesn't have any of those direct, but at least a PG where it's, hey, think about it before you go. Check this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
it was so out of place, I felt, because the character is a little creepy, and it's clear that he's like a witch doctor, a voodoo doctor of some type,
yeah.
set in New Orleans, and that's kind of part of the milieu. But that one song was just like, everything's here, 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 and then why?
Yeah, and the ending of it
I'm an
is-
adult, and I think this is creepy. Oh.
Yeah, the whole end of it, too, was very dark and demonic and twisted.
Mhm.
The way it all ended there, for sure.
Yep.
There is no doubt about that. But yeah, I mean, the ripping the heart out and the monkey brains, I think those two, would I want to show that to a 10, 11-year-old kid? Just no, that's just simply not something they need to see. So I would definitely go PG-13.
PG-13.
And it's one of those with, probably if it was modern with more CGI and more graphically like accurate, I could see where you'd almost contemplate, because of how graphic some of those things are, could it almost be in an R category just because it is so. I'm sure it wouldn't be, but I would say some of that stuff you could make an argument of it'll leave you creeped out,
Yeah.
even if you're a young adult.
I mean, yeah, again, that's where they were a little bit between a rock and a hard place of like, you have this line of PG
Yep.
until it is certainly an R.
Yeah.
So there's a big envelope that it could
Yeah.
kind of push.
I'd say absolutely PG-13. Consideration for even an R just for some of the.
Yeah.
But I think because of how old it is and the lack of CGI and stuff to make it really realistic.
I mean, yes and no. My argument for a solid PG-13 in this one is that, except for Raiders, every other Indiana Jones movie is PG-13. Granted, Last Crusade came out right after PG-13 was available, and hence it met it. I think Last Crusade should be... if you were going to debate between a PG and PG-13, that one you could be like, I could see that one bumping down. This one...
It's definitely above it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, no question.
Yeah.
So I'd probably put Raiders and Last Crusade on the same level of intensity and themes and violence. And then Temple of Doom, I'd put a little bit higher. So
I agree with that.
we are on one accord.
Yes.
PG-13.
PG-13.
So one kind of interesting fact for you is, if you didn't know this, is that there were two movies in particular that are called out as generating conversation around the need for PG-13. And they were Gremlins and The Temple of Doom. Those were the two movies that were like, okay, hold on. This is not doing it. And then there was one other thing that came up in my preparation for this. To avoid a 15 certificate in the UK, the BBFC cut 1 minute and 6 seconds from The Temple of Doom, and later said it was one of the strongest PG ratings they'd ever issued. They ripped out the heart part from a sacrificial victim, the lowering of him into the blazing pits. They made edits to the whipping scene, and the removal of a shot of a man's head hitting the side of a cliff. Also, the line, "Leave him alone, you bastards," was redone to "Leave him alone." Which has a little less punch.
A little less.
just a
Especially
slight.
if her mouth keeps moving.
Yeah. And also, this was the only version of Temple of Doom that was available until 2012, where the full cut became available in the UK.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So seems like they're on board with us too.
Little fact sheet for you, for whatever that's worth.
I was
all right.
forgetting some of those. There's just so many.
So Tim and Ian give this a definite PG-13.
Yes.
All right. Next up on the list
What do we got?
that you gave me, Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. Yes. Who are you gonna call?
Well, it's Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It's not that intimidating, right?
Again, for me, this would go back to a little bit of what I mentioned with Princess and the Frog, of, obviously the green guy is not very creepy, and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is not that intense. He's just big. But some of the other spirits,
Oh, yeah.
and then the whole ending with the demigod and.
Spoilers.
I'm sorry. I would say this is probably 2/3 of the way to a PG-13 for me. I can understand why it is definitely not an R,
Yeah.
and I could understand
Agreed.
an argument for keeping it a PG. But do you have more that would push it up?
I would. This is one, when we were looking at what we were going to do for the list, that I definitely. It was one that it wasn't a hard, which way would I go? It's. Would I want a 10-year-old to see it? No. Would they have to be 13, 14? It's tough. And it is. It's the, Stay Puft green guy.
Mm-hmm.
Language isn't a thing. There's not nudity that I'm worried about in it. But the other realm, the spirits and the evil to them, it's I could be persuaded either way. But I haven't seen, or I haven't watched it with either of my kids until they were at least that age of 13. So
I think that probably tells you something.
probably, and I would err on that side with my own kids. So if I'm gonna have to go,
Yeah.
based on just could it freak you out and give you some creepy dreams at night? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do I want to do that to my 10-year-old? No. I would go PG-13.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. And could you pull up what rating the two most recent Ghostbuster movies got?
Ah, yes.
Ghostbusters Afterlife and Frozen Empire.
Yes.
Were those both PG? I also saw the one with the ladies, and I actually liked it. But I think that's probably PG-13 as well. Chris Hemsworth was so good.
I haven't seen. I only saw the first one of the new ones. I haven't seen either of the other two. Shocking, folks. There's movies I haven't seen.
Frozen Empire was
PG-13.
PG-13,
Okay.
and that's also Frozen Empire. Afterlife was also PG-13.
So again, I feel like it makes sense to put it in that category. I would imagine Ghostbusters 2 is PG as well. At that time, it probably fit that bill, but it would fit logically to bump it up.
Yeah.
Because it's different than, say, Casper.
Yeah.
You know? And then you look at a movie like, is it Awakenings? With Michael J. Fox, Peter Jackson. Did you look that one up?
Awakenings.
Michael J. Fox plays like an exorcist. Like
The
he
Awakening?
does it like
This one? The Awakening?
no. The Frighteners. The Frighteners. I think that's it. The Frighteners. Look that one up.
You're frightening me.
Oh. Frighteners. The Frighteners.
Yeah.
1996. Rated R.
Rated R. Yeah. So this feels like the perfect. You know, if we're talking about Casper is PG, Ghostbusters is PG-13, and this is R. It's a similar storyline where there's, you know, corporeal entities that are from the spirit realm, but this one is he can actually talk to ghosts, and when he needs money, he has them go haunt things, and people call him, and then he goes and exorcises the ghosts who are just his friends. But it's a fun movie, you know. Michael J. Fox, Peter Jackson. But again, that one deserves to be an R. I would say this one fits nicely in between
Yeah.
the kind of kiddie ghost story and an adult ghost story.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I'm definitely not as heavily convicted as Indiana Jones. We're like, yeah, that's PG-13, but I would err to the side of caution of PG-13 for sure.
Yeah. There we go.
Alrighty.
Numero
Number 3.
Number 3. Airplane.
Airplane.
I had a lot of fun gathering specifically movie posters for this because I thought the nostalgia of the old movie posters might be better.
Yeah.
Oh, such an iconic
Yeah,
poster,
and I
too.
love that the Airplane 2 has the same airplane tied in 2 knots. That's
doing it right.
wow, what a fun movie. So quotable. How recently have you seen it?
Surely you don't mean that.
Yes, I do, and don't call me Shirley. He needs a hospital. What is it? It's a large building with lots of doctors, but that's not important right now.
Got a drinking problem.
I just want to tell you both good luck. We're all counting on you. Anyway, that's unrelated.
Hey, Tim, I haven't seen this movie.
Oh. Ian has.
I definitely have.
You should.
I'm looking forward to hearing your commentary on it.
One of my favorite carry-throughs is Scary Movie 3, which is same people that produced it and I think maybe directed it, and Leslie Nielsen's in it,
Yes.
and he does the same line. I just want to tell you both good luck, we're all counting on you, at the climax of Scary Movie 3 to push the girl back in the well that has crawled out. It's just chef's kiss. Anyway, Airplane. Yes, this was very moment in time, and I remember seeing this when I was probably 11, and I think we rented it from Video Update because it was PG, and I was laughing my butt off. My dad was too, and then boobs. And I didn't know. I'd never seen it. And he maybe hadn't seen it or hadn't seen it since theaters or completely forgot. But I got so warm and sweaty. I don't remember if my mom was watching with us or not. But it was one of those, like, it's completely played for comedic effect.
Yes.
Like, they truly only put it in there for, like, 2 seconds to, like...
Just because.
Just because. It's like everyone's panicking, and it's just boobs.
Just a random passenger, just topless, and then you go.
which is a very similar feel to like Police Academy. Like
Absolutely.
they, they're not gratuitous, but it's nudity.
Yes.
And you read earlier that if the nudity isn't like specifically sexual, then it's not an automatic R.
Yes.
Or PG-13. So, I don't know if a PG movie comes out today that has nudity. I'd have to dive into that.
Yeah, I don't know if anything has come out recently that would.
And there's that discussion with the more progressive ideas of like free the nipple and all that, of like, if a man can walk around without a shirt on, why can't a woman? Boobs aren't inherently sexual, which to a degree I agree with. So that's one of those, like, that's why they put him in there. That's why it's funny, because you're not expecting it.
Yeah. What do you think
But
about the movies?
do I want my 8-year-old to see it? Nope.
No. Nope. Not a conversation you want to have.
Right.
But it is interesting because you have... I feel like there's PG movies where you have like a man walking away and you see a bare backside.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in reality, what's the difference between that and those? But then there kind of is.
There's a pretty big difference.
Kind of isn't.
There is.
But
I'm just
but
making sure you know the difference.
wow, folks, the abuse I take.
I mean, they put it there to elicit a reaction.
Yes.
Yep.
If it didn't elicit a reaction, they wouldn't have put it there.
Yeah.
Yep.
It did what they wanted it to. And they did it at a time where the PG-13 didn't exist.
So I grabbed a quote here. Nudity is restricted to PG and above. And anything more than brief nudity will require PG-13 and above.
I would imagine brief is a couple seconds or more.
So by that definition, it could still fall into.
And I'm
PG.
guessing maybe they put a longer cut that's like 4 seconds. They're like, you gotta shorten that down, or you're getting a PG.
Two
or
nipples
you're
long.
getting an R. So, I don't know. I would say my personal take would be it's fine where it's at. What would you say?
I'd err more towards PG-13 than PG. Because again, if I'm just thinking my own kids, do I want to sit down with my 13-year-old today and watch that and go through the scene like you did with your dad?
Right?
Not particularly.
Right. Again, I will.
But it's a momentary.
I will reposit that I think we've kind of falsely equated PG with kids movie or okay with kids.
Yeah.
But it just means parental guidance.
Mm-hmm.
And PG-13 means stronger parental guidance.
Yeah.
We think this.
Yeah.
You should watch it and decide for yourself. So that's where I feel okay with it as a PG, because it's still on the parents,
Yeah.
You could know that it's in there and not show it to your 9-year-old, your 10-year-old, your 13-year-old until you're like, son, there are breasts. Let's be okay with it. Let's go.
I have some. They have some.
So, I'd be okay keeping it at PG for that reason. I don't think there's enough else in it thematically other than those 2 seconds to bump it up. I think, again, maybe now if the MPAA has a little bit of like, we'll rate things higher for racial jokes, it would be a PG-13 because it came out in an earlier time where that wasn't as big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, for the time, yeah, you couldn't do some of those jokes that were done in there.
Thematically and other content-wise, it's still a PG for me.
Yeah, I think I'm just thinking that even the air traffic controller guy with the
Put the Band-Aid, stop sniffing glue.
wrong week to quit smoking. But it is comical.
It's all played for comedy.
Yeah.
The entire movie is a bombastic satirization of everything that came before it.
I'm not convicted on PG-13, so if you're stronger on PG, I can ride with you on it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
But I lean a little PG-13.
Strong PG.
PG-11 and a half, folks.
Keep it PG.
We are putting a rating in between PG and PG-13.
We've created our own.
PG-11.
kind of like video games where they have Y7 and Y10.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Jaws.
What do you got?
It's just a family fishing film.
People getting eaten by a shark with blood
Yep.
and hunting them and taking a whole boat down,
Yeah.
which I haven't really seen a shark really do in real life.
He was on a vendetta,
Yeah.
for sure.
He definitely, I don't know, I must have said something cross to him or took his lunch money. For me, yeah, the amount of, obviously they cut away for some of the really bad scenes, but even the implication, blood in the water, and the raise in the heart rate as you're,
The peril.
yeah,
Yes.
like it's real, like you feel it, especially. I mean, now it's a little different, but for the time for that movie coming out and what it did and brought to screen and the feeling that you got from it, it's like, whoa, wait, I'm not going in the water.
Yep.
This is a river. Yeah, but there might be a shark here. They're thousands of miles away. I'm not taking chances. I would. Language is fine. I don't remember there being any nudity in that one.
Right at the beginning.
Is there?
It's the first person killed is a woman skinny dipping.
Yes. Yes.
But it's very dimly lit.
Yeah. So you don't really see.
Right.
That's right.
I mean, that's her on the poster.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's more the shadow. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Because she's skinny dipping at night, and then
Yeah. That's not terrifying at all.
not at all. No, I would say this is probably one of those where they were like, "This is getting close," but was not quite there to R. So I would handily put this one in PG-13, just for the sustained peril,
Yeah.
the heavier themes of killing an animal and hunting an animal hunting you mostly unseen. I mean, a parallel movie for me would be like Deep Blue Sea, which I actually really enjoy. Just a smart shark chasing people.
Yep.
But it is definitely R, and this has some of the similar things. Some of the makeup and graphics aren't as realistic,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I know that a lot of that impending doom of the unseen shark was because the shark didn't work all the time, which turned out better for the movie. If you had seen a lot more of Jaws, it would have been a lot less suspenseful. But because of that, I think it deserves to be in that upper category.
Yeah. PG-13 all day.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. No doubt whatsoever in that one.
Don't. Jaws.
Just one of the ones like on the whole list I don't even feel like it's really a conversation. It's like, yep, that's PG-13.
Mm-hmm. I wonder. I mean, I know there's Shark. I know there's Jaws
Sharknado?
2, Jaws 3D, and Jaws 4. But they all came out in the 80s, I think. So I would imagine they're all PG.
I don't know.
Be interesting. But yes, PG-13 with a bullet.
Alrighty, PG-13 it is. Moving on. Planet of the Apes.
Oh.
This one I thought was an amazing poster. There were several options for posters for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Such a classic movie. I have to go back and watch it. And actually doing this for this made me think, because neither of my kids have seen it yet. 17 and 13. I was like, I'm definitely down for both of them watching it, so it at least makes it under PG-13 or PG-13. But it's been years since I've seen it, and there's some real peril to it, and what if we were overrun by smart apes and we were the ones being hunted and caged and controlled? That's a little eerie. But there's nothing that stands out to me that I remember as being like
grotesque or anything.
Yeah, or that something that kept me up at night. Because I saw it when I was somewhere in my teens.
Mm-hmm.
I know is when I saw it. There's nothing that I was like, oh, geez, gosh. It's a little eerie to think that we could be in a position like that. I was like, that's not really something that could really happen. So
Tim, I wanted to ask you, this comes right at the start of the new rating system, and they were still kind of getting away from the Hays Code. It was called the Hays Code, right? They had a different formal name for it. But this is one of the first movies that came after that. What's your take? Do you have a longer take on that?
I mean, not specifically. I know that the Hays Code was something they were trying to get rid of for quite some time because it was almost explicitly puritanical to a fault.
now the Hays Code, could you explain for anybody that may not know?
Yeah, so I don't know his first name, but there was a guy that worked in the film industry, the last name Hayes, and I want to say it was 1937 or something like that. And they just decided, apparently, that films were getting too gross and they were doing too many adult things, and we needed to rein them back in. And so they came up with a specific list of things that you cannot have in a movie. It's not like we'll give you a rating. It is, you cannot show this. And it was like, you can't have somebody either holding a gun or shooting a gun. You can't show somebody smoking. You can't show somebody undressed. You can't show a woman with a skirt above her thigh. You can't show people kissing for more than a second. Like, there was very specific codes that you had to follow. And it was in place until the mid-'60s, until they finally got rid of it. There's lots of non-American films that didn't adhere to the Hays Code because they didn't have to. They didn't care. So for a while there, American films in terms of like themes and content and even style of acting trailed behind the rest of the world, specifically Europe and Japan and China, because they were so restricted by this particular code. So
just for the sake of diving into it slightly, we're going to read Motion Picture Production Code, which had been in place since 1930 and rigorously enforced since 1934. Filmmakers were pushing the boundaries of the code and invoking the First Amendment, so essentially suing over their ability to create art. Yep. And this would prevent them from being able to distribute in the States.
You can make it, but you can't make any money off of it. We're not going to allow you to show it in theaters because it's smut.
A skirt above the knee, how dare you?
Yeah. So I don't remember who it is, but I think at the tail end of the Hays Code being in place, there was an actress who did a movie poster or a promotional item for I think it was like a mafia film. And on the poster, she breaks like 9 of the Hays Code items. She's like, skirt up to here. She's smoking. She's holding a gun. She's got drugs on the table behind her. It's like they just
went all out.
Clearly did it to just give him a big, screw you. Yeah. So I think this is, to David's point, I think this is one of the first ones where they had a little bit more liberty to do what they wanted instead of feeling constrained to, we have to hit these check marks.
Yeah.
But I still think they were kind of testing out the waters. I know this is 68. Is this when that came out?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that was 2 years before Midnight Cowboy, which is got an X rating and won Best Picture. So I think that was, it would be an R today, especially for a specific cut that they would release. But at the time, they felt it was beyond an R, so it must be an X. But it was wildly successful, and it won Best Picture. Dustin Hoffman, Jon Voight.
Is that the only film to have that rating to win?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I believe that is correct.
So the other thing that I'm kind of looking into here, Tim, I'm not on camera. That's fine. The rating that this received was G at the time.
Okay. So easily PG. Having now seen the 4 remakes that are, I think, stellar. I don't know if you've seen any of them, but I think
Saw
they're
one of them. I haven't seen the other 2.
really good. Not only special effects and graphics wise, but story wise, and how did we get here, kind of thing, are phenomenal. And all of those are PG-13. So I would say for the time it was made, the quality of the makeup and the effects that take me out of it a little bit, I would be fine with it still being a PG,
I would agree.
but not a G.
No, definitely not a G.
You don't think this is a G?
No. PG-13, I think, would just be a little too heavy-handed on that one because there wasn't anything that was just that.
Right. They're a little menacing. One gets mad at him a few times. He's in prison, and you don't know if he's going to live. And then, he says the D word once, and that was like,
oh, no.
I saw this movie, a television cut of this movie. I've never actually seen the full movie. So sometimes I think movies are fairly harmless because I saw the TV cut. And they are, in fact, not.
I would say, given that I've seen it on TV and the full cut, I don't know that there's a
they don't
drastic
change much,
difference
Good.
between the two. I mean, I can remember some of the things that, but nothing that, there's just nothing that was that bad.
All right. So we're bumping that one up from G to PG.
Yeah.
But not all the way to PG-13. All right.
I didn't realize that one was a G. That's wild.
Puritans.
Grease is the word. Have you heard?
I have.
We recently discussed this.
We did.
And I am happy to hear that this is a favorite of yours.
It is.
What would you say?
Undoubtedly a PG-13. I mean, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Mm-hmm. That's the movie. I mean, it's the pursuit of turning a good girl bad while partying, drinking, smoking, racing, being everything against the rule of authority in the system, which isn't necessarily directly putting you in a PG-13, but when you're confrontational against any authority or others and out to cause trouble. And the way they played that out. Yeah. And the, multiple scenes of getting handsy. That would be the biggest thing that would say, yeah, we're going to go PG-13 on that.
Yeah. I would absolutely agree. I mean, there's even the scenes with Rizzo, is that her name? The girl?
Yes.
Where, like,
it
she,
sounds right.
at least throughout most of the movies, seems to only find her value when other guys want to have sex with her.
Yeah.
And, like, she actively pursues that for a lot of the movie because that's where she sees her value.
Yeah.
And that's a true thing and obviously a real thing for many, many people. But it is not that, that PG level.
Yeah, is it an incredible movie, and to put that on screen and play that out and like the real emotions around it and what that feels like, looks like, yeah, that's a great portrayal on screen. But is it PG? No. Mm-hmm. PG-13? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no.
That's an easy one. That's an easy one.
Yeah, PG-13.
You know what's interesting about this is that the MPAA would probably disagree with both of you on this because of how they generate their ratings. Sex scenes give you a PG rating. That you can't have a G rating and have a sex scene. But a sex scene without nudity is PG, which is kind of interesting. So even the themes, even the comments that can easily be construed the right way, that way the MPAA wouldn't necessarily take this up to PG-13 for that, because it doesn't have. Well, I don't know about the language. If the language reaches that point, then sure. But it's kind of language, violence, nudity. Those are the main criteria.
And I could see that, but I would still say just with when you put that whole package of the whole movie together, and just the vibe and the goals of everything, and then I would say just the movie alone without the overt sex scenes and stuff in there and what they're doing would already put me where I'm. It's probably a little above a PG just because of the actions that they're taking.
Yep.
And then you add that on top would be enough to be like, yeah, that's enough things. Nothing overtly necessarily, that they're not cursing up a storm and it's not, a bunch of bullets flying or.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any F words, but there's definitely a couple S words in there.
Yeah.
Some D's.
Yeah.
Definitely some H's.
Any smoking or drug use?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would put it up too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And high school kids doing all this?
Yeah. I mean, it's Dazed and Confused with singing behind it.
Another weird. It's like I have a theme of movies I like.
Yeah, but also kind of corollary to what you mentioned, the MPAA can sometimes nail it right on the head, and I feel like get it correct. And other times it feels like they're just throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. Because, and there's actually a documentary called this, a documentary about this called "This Film Is Not Yet Rated," that dives into the MPAA and how this happens and who's actually part of the MPAA, which is a very cloistered group, even though they have immense power. Because a PG-13 versus an R gets you a lot less money. If you're an R movie, it doesn't play to as many people.
Yeah.
So there's been movies that are kind of right on that line, and maybe the MPAA person doesn't really like that director's movies, or isn't a fan of the producer, or somebody in that production company did something to offend them. They're like, R. You can petition and you can, resubmit a different cut. And there's been movies that are like, this is NC-17, and then they'll cut out some stuff and get approved for R and then release the original cut. So it's an interesting position for them to be in, to have that much power over,
Still people.
guidelines and how much money a movie can make. There's been some movies recently they kind of bucked the trend with Deadpool and Wolverine, and that made money in spite of being R. But usually, if you get an R and you're trying to hit that 14 to 24 demographic, you're going to take a big hit, because parents won't let their kids go watch an R movie if they aren't old enough. So you're losing 25% of your revenue that you'd see if it was a PG-13. Mm-hmm. So, it's interesting. But yeah, that's PG-13.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, on we move then. Undoubtedly PG-13, as Ian said. Rocky. Another one where I had my choice of posters, and this one was fun.
Oh, yeah. And it's been so many years since I've seen it, so I'll let you probably riff on it mostly, but from as much as I remember of the original Rocky, there's nothing that stood out to me that would make me go, yeah, that's a PG-13. There's tough trials, and there's the only thing that I couldn't really put my finger on is, well, I couldn't really remember all the language, that there's a lot of crass words or profanity in there.
Yeah. I would have to look up the language. I would tend to say PG is fine for this one. The only thing that gives me pause is that there were other Rocky films. Some were PG. One was PG-13. And then they've done the Creed movies, which is essentially just updated Rocky.
Yeah.
They've all been great, but they're all PG-13. Which feels like, in terms of similar themes, dudes fighting in a boxing ring, training, some minor gruff language.
Yeah.
Why would this one be so different from those? I think this one is softened a lot by the relationship between Rocky and Adrian, and that being the focus instead of it just being all fighting and I'm going to beat this guy, and that some of the other ones kind of come with that when it's not a love story where he happens to be a fighter.
I would piggyback on that because I think that is the biggest thing that separates them is there's so much story outside of the ring for the first Rocky that really lays the groundwork of what Rocky became, that it's not all the fighting, all the violence. Yes, there's some fighting. Yes, there's training, but there's a lot more story and depth to it versus the later ones. And even with the Creed ones, it's fighting. And even the other ones, the outside of the ring, there's a lot more violence and confrontation that happens in later ones than in the original. I mean, you had a little bit of tussle back and forth, but it was just a little bit sprinkled in where there's a lot more story and character building, which I think is why
it won Best Picture. Yes.
And why I would say it sits comfortably at a PG and doesn't need to go PG-13. Now later ones, as the foundation's laid, now we're getting into the streets a little more rough, tough.
Quick fact check for you. Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, and Rocky Balboa are all PG. The 3 Creed movies are PG-13.
Huh.
Okay.
Yep.
Good to know. Yeah, no, I'm fine with this one staying. Again, I would say this one is probably maybe almost 50-50 or 60-40 fighting to everything else.
Yeah.
And because that core relationship is so integral to the plot, and really the fighting is only the last 26, 30 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
When he's doing the fight against Apollo. So it's so much more about who he is as a person and that relationship that it's... And even the fighting, like, he's not getting obliterated. He's holding his own, and they're just boxing. So, like, should a boxing match on TV be TV-14 or TVMA? And if not, then I'd say PG is just fine. So,
Are they? Are boxing matches TV-14 or TVMA?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a valid.
What
Good call there.
is the rating for
It's probably TV-14.
boxing matches?
Maybe TV-PG. Again,
That's
like,
quite, that's,
the caveat there is it's real blood with real people versus a movie.
That's not it.
Adrian!
Those are ratings. Boxing.
PG.
PG. It's not how hard you hit.
It's a good movie.
It's a really good movie. That's what I do gotta show to the kids.
Keep it PG, Adrian.
Rocky.
All right.
That score.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Gonna fly now.
That could have been a soundtrack.
Flying high now.
It could be that's top soundtrack for sure.
All right. The Empire
Ooh.
Strikes Back.
It's a good pick, Tim.
Thank you.
All credit goes to you.
I mean, yeah. I definitely came up with the first list.
But
No, it was Ian. Ian did a great job sourcing some of these. Yeah, for me, this would be a PG-13. And that is corollary to the fact that
Well, the stormtroopers can't shoot anything, so how could it really be a PG-13? I mean, they don't hit anything.
I think the fact that you see someone get thrown off of a ledge, someone shocked almost to death. Is this when he loses his hand, or that the one before?
Yep.
This is when he loses his hand?
Yep.
Okay, that's pretty graphic. A lot of menace. Again, this for me feels similar to Planet of the Apes, where like, according to specific stipulations, it probably still sits as a PG, similar to Attack of the Clones. And what's episode 1 called?
I'm not a Star Wars guy, so I'll
David.
call myself out on that.
Sorry, one more time.
What's the episode 1 called?
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace. I definitely knew that.
The answer is
It
Phantom
was
too.
right there. Those two are PG, and then Revenge of the Sith is PG-13. Because the themes are darker, there's essentially no language. There's some violence. He literally gets burned by lava. Like, I get why that one's PG-13. I would fairly similarly equate these two. And I think New Hope and Jedi are of a similar level as Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. There's so many now. I
He
keep
is
thinking of
struggling over
the
there
Force
today.
Awakens, The Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker, and Endor. Anyway.
Yeah.
The
The Rise of the Clone Awakening is probably one of my favorites.
Attack of the Clones.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of level of content, I'd equate Star Wars and Phantom Menace to be pretty similar. A lot of verisimilitude there, but Empire bumps it up a little. Again, the discussion could definitely be made. Is it enough to be a PG-13?
I think it's one of those.
This is
where
one of those like that PG-11 kind of thing, where we
11 and a
don't
half,
we
right?
don't have it. So, by definition, if it isn't a PG-13, it can stay a PG.
And by their rating system, would it be PG-13? I'm guessing you're probably right that it wouldn't be, but I do feel like just the overarching themes and how dark.
Well, this was
The
what,
whole
80,
80.
80?
80.
Yeah, how dark the entire movie really is as an overall, and the amount of death and violence that is shown. I would, PG-13 seems.
This is also the episode with the torture scene. I don't remember if you mentioned that or not. The torture scene is in there too.
I did not.
Yeah, I mean, I would say PG-13. We'd probably be overruled by.
David,
Extra
what would
rating
you
system.
say? You probably know this one fairly well.
I don't know. This one would be a pretty tough PG. I don't know if it deserves a PG-13. But I don't have a whole lot of comparison points for sure. The torture scene really is that's the psychologically impactful part. Yeah, and then I mean the part at the end where he loses his hand, yes, but to me not as powerful as Han, experiencing what he experienced before being frozen. There's not any real foul language. The violence is fairly dialed back from the combat scenes, so it's not super graphic. The themes are darker,
Mm-hmm.
but dark themes don't inherently give it a rating.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're divided at the table. You get this. deciding
PG-13 because of the incest kiss. There you go.
vote. You heard it here, folks.
I mean, there's also an argument to be made in Return of the Jedi, right? Like, the Ewoks are pretty violent. Just crushing men left and right, and using logs to smush people.
But they're cute, so it's okay. If something's cute, it can be violent. It's okay. Right? Is that how that works?
Yeah, that's why we got Chucky, right?
Chucky has entered the chat. Oh, Tim beats me to it. Oh, Chucky is not cute, though.
Megan? Isn't that the new one?
Oh, I thought that was a joke. I thought that was an SNL joke.
No, it's a movie.
Oh,
they made a
wow.
sequel, Megan 2.0.
What the?
What?
That's a thing?
It's a horror film, yeah.
I mean, I guess there's everything that's
It's
a horror
all for
film.
you,
So.
Damien. All right.
Oh.
Young Frankenstein.
Seen it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
David, have you seen it?
I don't think so.
Oh. Have you seen any Mel Brooks movies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're familiar.
There's Megan.
But not this one. Well, they can't see Megan. I just was trying to find out. So there you go. There's Megan.
Okay.
That's creepy.
It is.
Yeah.
All right.
Not on my watch list, folks.
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein.
I think when I think of this one, I guess I would think kind of like Airplane. A lot of the humor is that same era time.
Put the candle back. Roll in the hay. Roll in the hay. Abby normal? You give me an abnormal brain? No, I think this one is fine at PG as I'm kind of reeling it back in my head. Obviously, the scene where he brings his monster to life is a little scary. But, you know, it's so played for laughs that, especially with everything else around it, it never elevates to that PG-13 level for me. I think they did a pretty good job with Mel Brooks along the way. I think you could definitely make an argument for Spaceballs being PG-13.
Yeah, which is interesting because that was after the rating system had changed.
Yeah,
because I
unless
saw that
it is,
one.
and I'm not remembering it. But
No, it is a PG movie, but it was 87, 88 or something. What was Spaceballs?
I know Blazing Saddles is R, and that's correctly stipulated, and History of the World is R, and that's correctly stipulated.
Spaceballs 87 PG.
Yeah, and I would make an argument that that could be PG-13
Yeah,
for sure.
Yes.
No, but I think Young Frankenstein more convincingly for me because you don't have the random boob scene in the cockpit or in the airplane. Like fits into PG well.
I think that's appropriately rated.
Yeah,
We can
It
keep
sits
that
there.
one right where it sits.
yeah. And also highly recommend if
Again,
you haven't seen
going
it.
back
go see it.
going back to the parental guidance thing. This isn't a movie for kids,
Yes.
but I wouldn't be incredibly apprehensive to sit down with my daughter right now, who's 9, and watch this with her.
Yeah.
Just kind of get her take. I wouldn't watch it with my 6-year-old
Yeah.
or my 3-year-old, but
Yeah, I always looked at PG as being around that kind of 10-year-old mark. It's kind of roughly. So if you're 8, 9, 10, depending on maturity of the child, it's kind of where the PG kind of comes in.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of, but again, some things you see the PG come on and you're like, why? They must have had one thing in there that I missed that makes it not G.
Yep. There we go.
Alrighty.
Young
Moving on.
Oh.
Beetlejuice, but
If you're blue and you don't know
do
where
it.
to go to, why don't you go where fashion fits?
Well, this is
Anyway,
our,
we've jumped back.
final late entry to the list.
Beetlejuice. Yes. I added this one to the list because I know there is some discussion about this one. This came out after the PG-13 was an option. And yet, they still made it PG. The new one, Beetlejuice, is PG-13. And I think this one is PG-13 with a bullet. In some circles, you could discuss it being like, should it be an R? Like, there is smoking, there's language, there's death, there's spirits, there's suicide, there's suggestive dialogue all over the place. There's, people with slit throats and decapitated. And
Yeah.
There's enough there to be like, why is this not solidly PG-13?
Yep.
What were you doing that? Were you asleep? Did you fall asleep through all of the movie and be like, it's Beatles and juice, PG? I don't know. That one never made sense to me.
No, and definitely researching into this, that was an interesting thing. Is obviously 84 is when it switched, but you look at pretty much any of the 80s, even after that, running into the 90s, there's a bunch of movies like Spaceballs, like Beetlejuice, that are examples of you had it available, you didn't feel it compelled to use it in this.
Yeah. And again, that feels like maybe they have a checklist and it didn't check all of the lists or this particular one. But it also feels like there's room as a rating board to say, all right, we've done our initial checklist. Can we step back and look at the film as a whole? And do we say, I think, in totality, this should be a PG-13, despite it not having a prolonged sex scene or not having, specifically sexual nudity or not having extreme violence or any one of those, but on its face. I've seen it. I can find the humor in it. I don't love the movie. I've never really loved that kind of darker, macabre aesthetic. Like, I kind of enjoyed the Munsters. I was never a big Addams Family fan. So the Wednesday resurgence I haven't watched.
Addams Family was my
Hotel
favorite
Transylvania. Those movies, you can keep them. Even a movie like The Nightmare Before Christmas. Some of the songs I like. Danny Elfman's pretty cool in his musicianship, but again, the aesthetic is just
not for you.
No,
that's fair.
Tim Burton. A lot of his feel is like
Tim Burton's one of those that it's kind of either you like it or you don't. And if you don't like it, then
when he hits for me, he knocks it out of the park. I love Edward Scissorhands. I love Big Fish. Then a lot of his more popular ones for me, and I know he didn't direct Nightmare Before Christmas, but he was a producer.
Yep.
That just sort of death, dark, macabre aesthetic that some people just love. I'm like,
it's a favorite in our household for sure.
It's not. Well, it doesn't. Doesn't really flick my bick, if you know my drift. A bic lighter, okay? Don't get gross.
All right. Well.
All right, we are leaving.
PG-13.
We are leaving that one at why wasn't it PG-13 in the first place?
Yes.
So in quick review, we have. We'll actually go from bottom to top. Beetlejuice. Why wasn't it PG-13 in the first place? Young Frankenstein. Keep it PG and go see it.
Agreed.
Empire Strikes Back. PG-13 for the incest kiss. Rocky. Keep it PG, Adrian. Grease, undoubtedly PG-13. Planet of the Apes, change it to PG.
From G.
From G. Jaws, PG-13, but almost R. Oh, down below there. And then Airplane, keep it PG. Who cares about the boobs?
I didn't say that.
Ghostbusters, move it to PG-13. And finally, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, one of the ones that generated the conversation around the need for PG-13. Definite PG-13.
Definitely.
Well, there you go.
That was fun.
We have spoken. This should become codified law. Clearly. we know exactly what we're talking about.
Yes. Totally.
What do you think? Were we way off? Anything that you'd add into this mix that we didn't talk about that you're like, why is this not here? Or maybe even now, some PG-13 movies, you're like, that should be a PG. What is this doing up here? But
Yeah.
thanks for joining us on Ham Without Hamlet. Once again, I was Tim.
I'm Ian. You all.
And I'm off camera.
And we'll see you next time.
Take care.